Hello, good evening, and welcome to Stone Monkey Radio. Regard the gods. We're back. Hi, Cal. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Jane. How are you?
I'm exhausted because work never stops. I worked out today that I've basically been doing 60-hour weeks for a while.
Ooh, fun.
I'm not used to these things. It's not good for my
Definitely,
brain.
definitely very sustainable and not gonna come back at all.
Definitely. Hey,
Hi,
Grimmy.
Kramer.
How are you doing? Are you ready? Are you ready for cards? Are you ready? Are you ready for cards? Are you ready for cards?
I'm not getting the. I'm still on the stuff will happen soon screen. On Twitch. I'll try refreshing my page.
I can see me on Twitch.
Okay, that's important. That's the important
And
thing,
Crimmy can hear both of us.
which is good.
I learned a thing. I
Okay,
learned a
yeah,
thing
it was
last time
just
and I
my
have corrected it.
wonderful. And
Yay!
yes, I have. It was my computer being weird.
Being a weird. How dare.
I know.
Not that I can talk.
I,
I am also a weird.
hmm
Right.
Ooh, I am so excited for you, Crimmy.
Yeah. Crimmy, do you wanna sell us a book?
I've been meaning to read your samples for so long,
Same.
but I just cannot read. My focus has just died.
Yeah. I spent too much time on the Facebook and not enough time doing other things. The Dungeon Kitty has been summoned.
Oh,
Just genies. Suppose didn't even
yeah, I've
work
heard
with
that
Martian Region.
Amazon's paperback thing is interesting. Though I think I've heard from some self-published authors on Amazon that the paperback copies don't give you as much of a return as the digital versions,
Hmm.
but I could be wrong.
Well, shall we get on and look at some white cards?
Let us look at the white cards.
Let us look. I'll put it in the right place.
Mm.
It's an Abzan Sky Captain.
Mm-hmm.
Is the thing. It's a 2/2 for 4, but when he
Mm-hmm.
dies, bolster 2. Bolster, okay. Flying, but 4 seems a bit
Quite.
expensive.
Yeah, yeah, but it's essentially 4/4's worth of stats with flying,
4 4.
technically.
4 4 4 4.
It's a decent common.
Mm-hmm. Got a pair of them. One of
Ooh,
them's really fucked up.
nice. I hope you
Uh,
enjoy that Phlegathon catnip.
Megathon Catnip. Oh, heck.
Hmm, interesting.
Acroan? Acroan Jailer. You can
Mm,
tap target creature. It's a 1/1 for 1. I mean, that's alright.
yes.
But the
It's
tap
an
target creature
ability
is really where
that's
it comes in.
It's an ability that always does well. There are cards that do it at a far more effective rate, but I mean, as Kermie says, those mantids, though.
That's a beefy lad.
Indeed.
Let's have a doggo.
Doge.
Gosh. It's an Acroan Mastiff.
Mm-hmm.
Again, tap target creature. I'm guessing there was a lot of tapping target creature in. Is this Nyx?
That's Journey into Nyx, and I don't think it's a very common theme, but this came just after the Return to Ravnica block, in which the Azorius white and blue colors were all about tapping down creatures, and I think this is a remnant of that.
Mm-hmm. You stay. Stay there. No. Bad. I'm a tactician. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
When it enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. It's a 3/3 for 4.
Yeah, this ability tends to be underwhelming, especially in white, which, unless you're going very wide, won't get much of a benefit from
Mm.
this. there are always going to be better abilities like this in green or in lords that permanently pump up your creatures as long as they're on the field.
Yeah, I'm getting the feel recently from having built that Aura enchantment deck. Just
Hmm.
being able to keep things much better than until end of turn. Until end of turn works great for
Yes.
like red, but for
Oh,
most other
yes.
colours it's like,
Yeah.
no. This shit needs to hang around.
Does until end of turn mean we win this turn? No, then that's a serious thing to consider, a serious drawback.
I will try and scrape some of the bits of what is almost certainly decade old hashish off of these cards.
Whatever.
Angel of Mercy. I use this card a lot. Angel of Mercy is a 3/3 for 5, but you get 3 life. So put that in a
It's
black
pretty
white
basic.
deck with
Hmm.
some resurrection. Just keep gaining
Well,
3
actually,
life.
this doesn't benefit from resurrection because you have to play it from your hand.
But isn't like Gravedigger one that will get back to your hand, and then you can just
Yeah, but you're still paying the 5 mana cost over and over.
yeah. But I didn't have many good cards, and I can tell from the state of this that this was one of the ones that was in what was both my drug tin and my magic
That
card.
that is
They
quite
were
fair.
all
That sounds like
unsleeved.
a magical time, so to speak.
All we did was hang out, smoke hash, and play Magic the Gathering for days and days and days on end. It
That
helps when
sounds
you have
fucking wonderful.
it helps when you have a housemate who is buying huge soap bars and selling them to anyone in the house, selling chunks of it to anyone in the house, has a
Mm,
penchant for playing Magic the Gathering and Risk.
mm-hmm,
That's how
mm-hmm.
come I hate playing Risk. Auric Blade Warden.
Yeah.
It's a 1/1 for 2, but it has a chance to do plus X until end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
So bolster it, pump it up,
Um,
plus X.
so the Auric creatures from the Mirrodin set were all based around equipment more than anything else.
Okay.
A lot of them get bonuses when they are equipped.
Mm-hmm.
So having things that, uh, well, you could easily have some basic equipment that pumps up this creature's power, but then you could have another creature that has double strike as long as it's equipped.
Okay.
And so you're essentially going to get huge bonuses from whatever you invest into the Blade Warden's power. You're essentially going to have like a champion creature that's supported by all the other creatures on your board.
Nice. Got a couple of those. Oh. Uh, Oriok, a
Oh,
Steel Shaper.
yes.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
equip costs are 1 less. That's always nice.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's equipped, soldiers and knights you control get +1/+1. So
Mm,
last one was a soldier, so it would have got a
yep.
bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad for 2, I guess.
Not bad at all.
Pump it,
It's
pump it.
quite a decent card in the block it's in.
Transfixer. I like this
Mm-hmm.
art. I mean, I
It's
like the
good
big.
art.
Are they like scythes? I guess. I
Those
can't
look
tell if this
like,
person is defending themselves or just like this is
yeah.
my thing. Haha, go
It
my
looks like they
scythe.
might all be attached to one machine with a spiked wheel there, and in that it would be like defending from it,
Oh,
I guess.
I liked it better when I thought they were controlling the big spiky thing.
Then that can definitely be what it is.
Yay! Tap target creature again. These are orcs.
Artifact.
These are
Did you know there used to be some sort of rule that if you had an artifact that just did a static thing, if you tapped it, the static ability would just be turned off. I think they've since removed that rule from the canon, but that was a weird little thing that um, could be used to shut down your opponent's artifacts.
Yes, this is why I don't usually do things where I read stuff online because I'm bad at reading stuff. I'm just trying to
Very
catch up a
fair.
bit on chat. Cat versus dog.
Mm.
Present cat versus cake dog is an
Mm-hmm.
adorable gif from the beginning of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Aim flop. Sorry. It's a white border.
Mm-hmm.
A 2-3 for 5.
Indeed. And it's able to survive anything, I guess. But uh,
As people say, it wasn't fun back then.
well, I mean, 8th edition was a very starter-oriented set.
Mm-hmm. Even skirmisher.
Very nice.
It,
Very nice. I
I'm not
guess.
entirely sure what's going on here. Are they connected to the
Um,
wings, or is it like?
it looks to be some sort of Icarus
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
situation there. They're just holding a spear in front of them.
It's a flying. It's a 1-1 for 1.
Ooh, Jane's Dungeon Kitty subscribed to Tier 1
Thank you for subscribing. I hope you enjoy your Tato. It's a good
and
Tato.
also asks, how was your day?
It was alright. It was alright. I watched our Robocop remake on Vimeo.
Oh, fun.
Don't ask why I've been watching things on Vimeo.
I mean, obviously, because you paid for them, obviously, and definitely.
Yeah, not because I have limited access to YouTube these days.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Mm-hmm.
Tactician is a 2-3 for 5, flying, and when it enters the battlefield, bolster 1. Not worth it. I'm feeling. I don't think it's worth
Ooh, I'm getting a bit of internet stutter.
it.
Should
No.
be reconnecting soon, ideally.
Even Warhawk. Amplify. As it comes in, put a +1/+1 on it for each bird and or soldier card you reveal in your hand. So helps to have a good full hand. But still,
Amplify was a really interesting mechanic.
I mean, it seems like it inspires you to actually build like sets of things.
Mm-hmm. And it also pays off for you, like, not playing cards or having too many cards that you just can't play in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
But quite expensive, generally.
exactly. I
But
wonder
lovely.
where that belt I wonder where that bell curve is of how many things you want to have in your hand when you cast that.
Hmm. Hmm. Couldn't say. It's a Dogo.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Boros
It is
Raptor.
Dogo. Mm-hmm.
It's 2-2 for 2 with Battalion.
Yes. The Boros aggro decks from Gate Crash were quite something indeed. And
Yes.
Battalion just gave everything insane bonuses when you were attacking with at least 3 things, which you always were because Boros' aggro colors, white and red.
I guess that makes sense. I got wow. I got a lot of those doggos. Wow. Uh huh. Still going. Still
Yeah,
going.
I probably have like 10 or 11 of them myself.
Too many dogs. Too many dogs.
Sorry, Jane's Dungeon Kitty, the doggy went away.
No. They'll probably move more dogs and also kitties. I
Well,
mean
this
this.
one's a Hound Warrior.
I mean that looks like a kind of doggo face.
Mm-hmm.
Tentacles. So it's a 3-2-4 with lifelink. We like the lifelink.
Mm-hmm. Very common in white, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always relate white to sort of lifelink and vigilance and
Mm-hmm.
flying,
Mm-hmm.
but still not actually being all that good. It's a charging
Yeah,
griffin.
I would say overpriced flying.
Mm-hmm. Whenever charging griffin attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So it's a 3-3 for 4 with flying.
Unless you need to defend yourself.
Yeah, but defending. Whomst would do a defend?
Exactly. Defend in white? Never.
Never. Always zealously attack forever. Cleric of the
Mm-hmm.
forward order. They'll ask you out, but you might not be comfortable with it. Cleric of the forward order. When Cleric of the forward order enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each creature you control named Cleric of the forward order. So, full place it at 4 if you're going to play it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all right. I mean, it's a 2/2 for 2 with upside, so that's always like playable in more limited formats. And I guess in constructed, you could. Well, the total life you would be able to get out of this thing would be 20 life if you somehow got all 4, one after the other. Well, each of the others was still in the field, I guess I should say.
It's no 7 dwarves.
No, no.
Cloud Reach Cavalry. Gets +2/+2 and has flying as long as you control the bird. Boop.
That is not bad, considering in Legion you would definitely have that.
James Dungeon Kitty. I mean, there's Magic Arena. You could play Magic Arena if you want to play with people.
There's Magic Arena. There are many good tools to find local game stores that organize events. You know, just a lot of really interesting stuff that you can use to play Magic.
Mm-hmm. Even if you're like me and don't like dealing with... I can deal with a card shop when it's just the owner in there.
Hi, Connie Dono.
Hi, Connie. We have nice chats about DS9 and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's fine.
Very nice.
But asking me to go into a large crowded group of mixed ages
Mm-hmm.
could be a lot.
Absolutely.
Also, it's not selling it to me and I'm like, they're all really awkward too.
Mm-hmm.
I do much better with people who are already confident, so I don't have to be confident.
Mm-hmm.
Consul's Lieutenant. It's a 2/1 for 2 with first strike and renown 1.
Which means it's likely to get that renown since people don't like to block things with first strike because it typically means their blocker's going to die.
At least not early on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I am so sorry to hear that, Jane's Dungeon Kitty.
Oh.
And Omegon, if you are looking to learn how to play Magic, which can honestly feel really daunting at the start if you don't have someone, who's offering to teach you, Magic Arena has an amazing tutorial system, which kind of helps walk you through the basics of the game. Oh.
I believe we have a third person. Nope. She's gone.
What in the world?
Oh, there we go.
What is this?
We have a Becky.
One of those!
One of
What?
those!
A Becky on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday, right?
The day of the chew!
The day of the chew.
Does that mean that I have to leave now?
No!
No, please don't.
No! One of us.
Stay.
One of us. Stay. Stay.
I will stay.
Yay!
Okay, so, crossbow infantry. It's a 1/1 for 2. And deals 1 damage to target attacking or blocking creature for a tap.
How rather inefficient that could be. Well.
8th, though. Again with the 8th.
Yeah. I mean, it's a set that existed.
Dagatar the Adamant. It's a legendary. Vigilance. Enters the battlefield with 4+1/+1 counters on it, so 4 for 4. And 1 black or green. Move a +1/+1 counter to a second target creature.
Very nice, very nice. And Kermie, if there are many grammar or spelling mistakes, I'm sure that people would love to help point them out to you.
Yeah, that's how the internet be.
Whether you ask them to or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jane, just so you know, technically speaking, the little black/green mana is technically referred to as hybrid mana.
Hybrid.
So,
Hybrid.
just a quicker way to say it.
So
Oh,
it's
no.
Golgari mana.
I'll be back in a second. I just realised that I don't have my glasses on.
Oh no.
Oh no.
How will you
I
see
thought
all of the
everything was
text?
blurry.
It's not just my bad camera setup this time. Daru Spiritualist. It's a cleric.
Hmm.
Not quite sure what I'm looking at there.
All the clerics from this block are really fucking weird in that they look kind of like scarecrows, or like the camouflage costumes from Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, I guess.
It's weird, but they're kind of effective, I guess. They're good at protecting each other.
Mm-hmm. So it's a 1-1 for 2. And you can get +0/+2 until end of turn.
Jane's Dungeon Kitty asks if you have any Eldrazi.
I don't think I do. I learned about those recently. They seem pretty cool.
They are, but
Horrifying.
they're in very limited sets.
Yeah.
They're very tentacly. I recommend looking into the Eldrazi from Eldritch Moon. Lots of good tentacles.
I shall think about those later.
Mm-hmm.
Dawnbringer Charioteers.
Think
Flying,
about it while doing
likely.
what?
Dawnbringer for Charioteers. It's a 2/4 for 4, flying lifelink, heroic. That seems alright.
Yeah, it's really good. Sorry, I just got confused because
Yeah, I
Jane's
still
Dungeon
microwave
Kitty
it out.
said, yeah. Fun.
If you really don't want them, Dungeon Kitty, I would be very grateful. Laura is going to give me the details for the PO box, so I will be able to post that if anyone does decide they want to do a thing. Not expected, but very much appreciated. Dragon Bell Monk is 2/2 for 3 with vigilance and prowess. That seems pretty
Very,
decent.
very nice. Oh, Jane's Dungeon Kitty, that sounds really nice. The owl plushie has lavender seeds inside and gets warm.
I've got a unicorn that does that, but it makes me sad, the idea of microwaving a plushie.
Oh, yeah.
I know I shouldn't, and I'm assured that it's actually pretty good to like clean them essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like a lot to microwave something you love.
Mm-hmm.
I think I played too much Day of the Tentacle. I've just learned not to microwave things that aren't food.
Yeah.
Dragon Hunter is a 2/1 for 2. 2/1 for 1, sorry. With protection from dragons. But it can't block dragons. It can block dragons as though it had reach. That seems like a lot
So,
for a 1-drop.
yeah. Can they just brick wall for any dragon as for 1 mana?
Fucking
Whereas
come on, man.
How much did those dragons cost? Yeah, that's really neat.
Expensive dragon runs. Have you
You're
seen
real
any?
neat.
Oh, she back.
I'm back once again.
With the ill behaviour, with the ill behaviour, with the ill behaviour. Dramoka Dunecaster. It's a human wizzy. 0/2 for 1. Tap target creature without flying.
Very nice. Limited, but nice.
Yeah. Got a few of
Ooh, so you must have collected some Zendikar lands, Jane's Dungeon Kitty. Those are very nice.
those. Ooh. The only 4 card lands I have are from unsets, which are the only uncards I have left from my previous but I paid for my unsanctioned today. So we will probably pick that up on Monday and be playing that either next Tuesday or Thursday.
Ooh, I'm so happy for you. I just can't, justify buying the unset right now.
Understandable. I think I would have had a harder time justifying it if it had been like a standard unset with booster boxes, but because it's like everything is in a thing, that's it.
Yeah,
And my local
and
shop
that's
was like, I
nice.
could sell it for 50 quid because that's what we're supposed to be selling it for, but I'm going to do it for 40. I was like, sold.
Really, I thought that I saw some places charging like $100 for pre-orders.
It doesn't sound
What?
like there's a lot of stock kicking about because Apparently there's only one that isn't pre-sold at my local store. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I would be way happier to have, like, booster sets and, like, have a full range of uncards. I don't know if you looked at my Twitter today, I had lots of fun making up random cards. Based on pun names. Hang on.
No, but that sounds like a lot of fun.
It was fun. I had some spare time. Where was it? So my hashtag kinda wrong MTG. So we had Pig through time. A blue instant with Delve. Reveal the top 7 cards of your library. For each creature revealed this way, put a 1/1 colourless pig token into play. Then shuffle all hands and non-pig permanents into their owner's library. Then draw 7 cards. So basically, restart with some pigs. Urza's solar panel.
Oh, yeah.
Tap to add 1 colourless mana to your mana pool for each card named Urza's solar panel that you have tapped. This turn, create an additional colourless mana to your mana pool. Nickel
Sorry,
Bolas.
what's up?
I'm reading silly cards.
Okay.
Nickel Bolas. It's a blue-black-red artifact enchantment with tap target creature. It does not untap during its untap step and takes cumulative 1 contact dermatitis damage. Because nickel bad.
Alrighty.
Right, anyway, let's get on with the real cards. Eagle of the Watch. It's a 2/1 for 3. Flying Vigilant. Seems expensive.
Seems very expensive.
Eidolon of Rhetoric.
Hi, Future Fishy.
Hi, Future Vision. Hello.
Hello, Fishy.
Hello, Fishy. It's a 1/4 for 3. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn.
Yeah. Now this is another thing that White's good at, and that's just prison effects. That's what these sort of things are called.
Good for when you're top decking, I guess, and don't have much card draw.
Yeah, I guess it's essentially a way to stop your opponent, if they're blue, from just drawing like 5 cards in a single turn and then playing all of them out of nowhere.
I don't know what set this is from, but I thought that was a trans symbol for a second there.
That is Return to Ravnica. No, sorry, that is Avacyn Restored.
A Farbog Explorer with Swamp Walk. Remember Swamp Walk.
I read that as Fearbolg for a second.
Me too. I was like, Trees, is that you?
Hello. It's me, the Farbog
But yeah,
Explorer.
that's Avacyn Restored. It was a fun set. Many, many angels.
So many angels. Firehoof Cavalry. That's the big sparkly horse. It's 1/1.
My lovely sparkly horse.
Medic! Medic!
Ooh.
It's a 3/3 for 3 with Battalion.
Yeah, no, this is one of the best Boros cards in the entire Gatecrash set, because making everything indestructible when you attack with everything just really puts your opponents on a clock, can it?
Yeah, I can see how that's a thing. Ooh, it's the first Planeswalker I ever got.
Kithian!
Gotta catch him all. At the end of combat, a Kithian, hero of Akros, and at least 2 other creatures attack this combat, exile Kithian and return him to the battlefield transformed under his owner's control.
Yeah, I know that most of the flip planeswalkers are really good.
Gideon Battleforged. That's one target creature an opponent controls attacks Gideon Battleforged during its controller's next step if able. Until next turn, target creature gains indestructible, untap that creature. And until end of turn, Gideon Battleforged becomes a 4/4 human creature with indestructible that's still a planeswalker and prevent all damage that will be dealt to him this turn.
It's pretty good. Just a pretty nice tank.
Mm-hmm. And I never know quite where to find it, but I find it under K. I think. Or G.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's still under G, because there's a good riffing. It's a 1-3 for 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's not impressive. I'm not impressed. Do better, Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
What do?
Fisher just made me aware of something that has annoyed me greatly.
Mm?
The Poltegeist Pokemon can't learn the move Scald.
Oh no.
No.
It's
Why
made
would you
of
want
teapot.
Why would you want your teapot to scold you?
I wanted it to scold other things. Because it's a teapot, and I expect that from teapots.
Understandable. Hasada Square Squad? Welcome to Square Squad. I hope you set up a website.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Enter discount code QNPS.
106.
Whatever.
106.
Wow. That's right.
What is this? Harsh Deceiver.
That is a Kamigawa spirit.
That's... It's just the stuck-on faces. At first I thought it was like an explosion of faces.
I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah. And bone. And the paper lamp. Look at the top card of your library, so some scrying. Reveal the top card of your library if it's a land, untap Harsh Deceiver, and it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Place ability only once each turn. What are those?
Yeah, essentially. Kamigawa had some amazing art and also some weird ass art.
Mm-hmm. Harvest card, Alciades. It's a constellation card. I like those. Whenever it or another enchantment enters battlefield under your control, prevent all damage that would be dealt to target creature this turn. Nice.
Indeed. Offers good protection.
And they're cute too.
Mm-hmm.
Jeskai Barricade.
Hey, Basin.
Hey Mason, how'll do? It's got flash. Nice. It's a
Hi,
wall.
Basin.
When it enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. So good for getting rid of things that have been pacified or stuff like that. Just gonna flicker this bitch out.
Also good to get things with enter the battlefield abilities as well.
Jeskai Student. That's pointy looking pointy. It's got prowess.
Indeed.
1/3
Yeah.
for 2. Nice early blocker.
1/3 in prowess for 2 is not bad at all.
And then there's this friend. A Kabuto moth.
Also from Kamigawa.
It looks like some kind of construct.
Yeah.
Like an
I'll
angry
give you that.
smudge with dragon talons. Like an evil possessed smudge. Not you. Sorry, I just saw the next card after this. Kitsune Broodmaster. We're heavy in the Kamigawas now. Kamigawa. It's a fox samurai. It's a fox samurai.
It is a very solid card.
First strike. 2/2 for 3. Plus the first strike, I think that makes up for the extra mana.
Well, I mean, it's a 3/3 whenever it's in combat with the creature. Da da da.
Look at the adorable fox.
I have a lot of copies of this card. They're very good.
They have no mouth, but they must fan themselves. That's such a cool looking card. Hot fox. Knight of Obligation. Do not like.
No, the Orzhov are essentially like Catholic Church.
I feel that a lot about white cards generally.
Yeah, but the Orzhov are specifically, they're the white and black color pair.
It's your friend. Hello.
Aww.
Hello. What an adorable schnuz.
Mm-hmm.
At night of the Pilgrim's Road. It's 323 with renown.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
Nope.
Not my favourite.
I mean, if it's able to get through, then it's a pretty solid stat line, but 2 toughness is always a bit risky.
This could get good.
This could get very good quite quickly, and it's a good way to just be a blocker before it can get good.
Get good, scrub. And I've got a couple of those. I don't know why I don't use them in more things. Leonine Dengard. Straighten that up. 1, 3 to 2. As long as it's equipped, it gets +1/+1, and attacking does not cause it to. Just it's got vigilance.
Vigilance. Yes, this is before vigilance was a word.
But.
In Magic. I mean, it was a word, but
it wasn't
not in
that
Magic
well.
until.
Nice set of those. Lovely.
Very nice.
Yeah, more of the Lion Friends.
From Fifth Dawn.
Fifth Dawn. When the Indian Squire comes into play,
I
turn
think.
target artifact card with converted mana cards 1 or less from your graveyard. There was a lot of 1 artifact, 1 mana artifacts.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely could get some good value out of that.
Lotus Eye Mystics. Ooh, this game loves a Lotus, huh? Okay, it's a 3/2. Prowess. Lotus Eye Mystics enters the battlefield, return target enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Handy.
Was that a pun?
Just a little fun, as a treat.
As a treat.
As a treat.
Hi, Becky.
Hi, Becca. We've got a Lowland Tracker. They also have no mouth, but they must cut.
Track.
It's a 2/2 for 5.
It looks like they might have a mouth. It's just so blued out, it's hard to see.
Oh, because I thought this was going full on beginning of the Matrix.
It could be. I can't quite tell.
Genuine doesn't look like there's a mouth there.
Fair. It could just be the lighting for me.
Loxodon Polisher. It's a elephant with a swirly. It's 2/2 for 4. With +2/+2.
A few different maces. Definitely could.
I can't tell if it's like poi maces or just one that's spinning really quickly.
Or is it just like 8 of them? Yeah, that's a fun card.
Illuminate Primordial. It's a 4/7 for 7. When it enters the
Easily, I think, the worst of the Primordials, but I could be wrong.
Cool art. Got Vigilance. Enters the battlefield. For each opponent, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls, and that player gains life equal to its power.
Actually, that one's not too bad. Yeah, I forgot the exile clause.
I mean, if I'm going to have a 4/7, I want Elish Norn, to be honest.
That is very true. I'm pretty sure Elish Norn is more expensive to cast.
But he's so pretty.
Yes.
Mardu Hateblade. Hate stabbing people.
I mean, therapy is a thing. Works wonders.
Therapy. Gains Death Touch until end of turn. Not bad.
No, I think they made a card that's very much like it recently.
Mardu. What's Mardu?
Whoa, Reaper.
Whoa, Reaper. It's 2 1 for 1. Whenever my Mardu
I
will
also can.
Hmm?
I can also confirm the usefulness of therapy, Basin.
Therapy is good. I recommend everyone try and find a good therapy at least for a couple of sessions. Just
But if you if you feel like it's not for you, maybe different therapist if that's possible, because I thought therapy wasn't for me because I went to 4 very not great therapists before I finally found a good one.
very similar story. I had lots of therapists assigned to me. The best therapist I ever had was one I was paying for. I couldn't really afford it, but that has definitely 100% changed
Yeah.
my life for the better in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Maze Sentinel.
Yeah, no, I guess only reason I found out about her is because I specifically talked with my trans friends about people who they knew who worked with people who were questioning gender identity. This is still when I was just before coming out.
I was super far in the closet at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I travelled outside of Narnia.
Ugh.
It was going to take a while to get me back.
Mm-hmm.
Or not, apparently. It was going to take me 3 months with a really good therapist. Maze
Mm-hmm.
Sentinel has vigilance. It's a 3/6 for 6. Multicolored creatures you control have vigilance.
Mm-hmm.
Meh.
Yeah.
I feel like there's better ways to spend your mana.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, remember Threshold?
I do.
It's 2/4 for 4. With Threshold, it gets
Mm-hmm.
+1/+1 and has flying. As long as you
Not
have,
bad if you have threshold.
as long as you have Threshold, yeah.
Well, that's not too hard to do these days.
I guess not, unless somebody's exiling your fucking graveyard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Casio!
I wish you the very best of luck, Basin. It
Fingers crossed.
just helped me with becoming who I am today.
Big same. I should do a stream where I go through some of my old art at some point and just go,
That would be
can you
lovely.
spot the running themes? Because I fucking couldn't.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't recognise this set.
That's from Urza block. I can't remember which one. Oh, that's great, Future Fishy.
Younger Sib has a phone appointment about gender questioning stuff soon. Hype, hype. I hope it goes really well. Sending
Mm-hmm.
all the positives. Positives. Master Healer.
That set is Urza's Destiny.
Thank you. What year? 98. It's a 1/4 for 5. Prevent the next 4 damage to target creature or player this turn. It's expensive.
It's not great.
No. Rare you may be, friend. Good, not so much.
There are some amazing cards from Urza's saga, and then there are some real pieces of shit.
Nav squad commandos.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever Nav squad commandos and at least 2 other creatures attack, Nav squad commandos get +1/+1 until end of turn. Untap it.
Yep.
It's very expensive what it is. Space Lamb. Spaceship.
Oh.
Next space
Oh,
round.
Jane's Dungeon Kitty.
Oh, serious question. I have a serious question. Genuinely confused about my gender and preference in people. It just keeps changing, and I'm searching for some reading material to help with that. I don't actually. Does anyone else in chat have any good ideas?
I think I know a few things, but I'm gonna have to look it up. My choir hosted an event called the Trans Voices Festival a couple of years ago, and it brought a lot of trans people and people who do stuff for trans resources together. And there's a trans author who had a few books. I'm going to try and look them up now.
Yeah, I used to have like a full because I used to run lots of like little support groups, and I kind of pulled away from that because I wasn't mentally healthy enough to be really helping other people. That whole pouring from an empty cup thing.
Fair enough.
And I think
Okay.
changing communities as well, I've lost a lot of those links that I used to have for like, here is a thing.
Yep. Well, I found the individual, their name, because I can't remember their pronouns off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's they, them. Can I post a link in chat?
Sure.
That's their website. But they have a really good book that I saw someone reading it in the wild one time and had a really nice conversation with them about it. But they have a book called How to Understand Your Gender, A Practical Guide for Exploring Who You Are. Can definitely recommend that it is quite a good read. They also have a good book called Life Isn't Binary, which is just a nice book.
I mean,
And
sorry, go ahead.
no, go for it.
I would say with regards to explore it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason not to. I mean, obviously, I don't know what your family situation or anything like that is, but if you can find people that you are comfortable around, to just be, hey, I want to try some things to explore myself, and that they are good, nice, comfortable people.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the good people to have around.
Exactly. And you can always
have to pick a thing.
Mm-hmm. These things can and do change a lot for a lot of people. Okay, I also just looked. Alexi and Taffy also has a free Zine to accompany the How to Understand Your Gender book. That's free to download and use, and I believe might have some relevant things as well, aside from just the book text itself.
It's an X-Place RAM.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 0.5, so it's a good wall, but it's also going to keep giving you life.
Yep.
More of this. Again,
Also good in chat.
Nice with anything that will let you grow up. Like draw cards for. What am I thinking of? Dawn of Hope. One of those ones that like you gain life.
Sorry,
You can pay
which
mana
thing?
to get. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that is
Where
Dawn
you
of
gaining
Hope.
life? It is Dawn of Hope. So yeah, Dawn of Hope. I think when you gain life, you can play one mana to draw a card or something like that. I can find it later, but I know what I mean. What else is going on in chat?
In terms of serious topics, I'd like to think that us here at the Sexy Potato Squad are a nice group of pseudo strangers of online camaraderie that will be good at being here for you and helping you with your shit. If you ever want us to try experimenting, calling you different names or anything, to see how it feels for you, then that is something that we can absolutely do. No, not at all.
No, you're free to grow and change as you desire. And if you try a thing on and next week go, you know what, that doesn't feel right either. Try a different thing. It's fine. You don't have to
Exactly.
commit.
Mm-hmm.
Pillarfield Ox. It's a 2/4/4. And I can't
I
say
have a
any more than
friend
that.
of mine. I have a friend of mine who legit tries out a new name and pronouns every few weeks.
It's good to try new things. And especially like when you're still in egg mode. Just like try all the things. Do you want to try random fashions? Do you want to mix like big stumpy boots with skirts? Do you want to wear button-up shirts and ties, or like a half open button-up shirt with a bra underneath it? Do whatever. Do
Thrift
whatever.
stores are amazing because not only is everything cheap, but nobody there ever gives a shit.
Yeah. One I used to do a lot is TK Maxx because it's just like all end of line stuff is all really cheap, and just there's like wacky styles in there that you would never buy. I definitely
Yeah.
recommend playing the TK Maxx game to anyone of questioning gender or not, or presentation, because you can just go in and go, I'm going to grab a bunch of stuff, I'm going to try it all on and see how I look, and some of it will probably be ridiculous, but you might surprise yourself with how good something looks on. Try the things on. Aren't slivers Eldrazi? I don't know. Turning over to
They are
presentation.
not. Slivers are chromatic, in all 5 color creatures that are a hive mind that each build up each other. The Eldrazi are colorless titans that are good at destroying things and consuming other things for mana. Oof. Yeah, I can see that, Dungeon Kitty. That does sound rather rough with the living in Switzerland and not having thrift stores with clothes. Hey, Tricky.
Hey, Tricky. How you doodle? Relic Seeker is a 2 for 2 for 2 with Renown 1. When it becomes renowned, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. It's not bad.
Nice little tutor. Oh, sorry to hear that things are not that good, Tricky.
No, sending positives.
So, Jane's Dungeon Kitty, I don't know how likely you'll be able to find this in your area. A lot of trans support groups or like queer spaces will have just like a clothing exchange where people can just come bring their old clothes and then search around in like those clothes to see if they find anything they like. Pretty hit and miss, and you have to find a place that like it can be hard to find a place, but if you do, then that can also be an amazing place to explore fashions.
Definitely recommend like checking out if you're feeling brave enough, try like local support groups. See what's available. You don't have to go along, but it's definitely worth like researching what is local to you. CJ Harrier. It's a 1/5 for 5 with flying and morph.
Very
Expensive.
eh.
Very, very expensive. Oh, Kamigawa. Samurai Forces. It's 4/4 for 6 with Bushido too. So generally a 6/6.
Yes. So the Bushido mechanic is essentially making a creature stronger in actual combat, but not super strong when dealing damage to an opponent, because it's just a way to balance out the things. I don't know, because the cards without the Bushido toughness are typically overpriced, but when with the Bushido effect are typically really good value. So interesting stuff, and a lot of them have really good support for each other. There's a lot of good samurai support in red and white in Kamigawa.
I mean, of the colours we've looked through, I feel like red and white have had the better options for Kamigawa cards.
Yeah, the samurai were one of the better sub themes.
Sandcrafter Mage. This makes me think of one of the characters from the new upcoming series of polyamory that we can't talk about yet.
I'm so excited for it. I just want it to be out.
I think we're 9 episodes recorded so far, Becky? Yeah, I recorded, or I started editing the episode 0 on Friday last week because I took a day off from my day job.
Very
It's
nice.
like a 45-minute summary of what happened in the first season.
I really like it.
I need to put some music on it, and I need to put like some outro. And then I think pretty much when that's done, so like in maybe 2 weeks' time, we'll be ready to kick off. Because I wanted like 10 episodes in the bank. Because summer's coming up, there's going to be lots of, hey, we're not available to deal with.
That's very fair.
Sandstep Outcast is a 2-1 for
Well.
3. And it's a battlefield, choose one. Put a +1/+1 counter on it, or put a +1/+1 white spirit creature token with fly onto the battlefield.
Yeah, you're typically almost always going to make the 2 bodies putting the spirit token onto the battlefield because, again, a 3/2, just 2 toughness is very risky because even a shock can kill the thing, and most 2-drops will kill the thing. Whereas having it spread out over 2 bodies, one of it with flying, is typically seen as better.
Scion of the V2 Ghazi. That looks cool as fuck. It's got a foot crooked. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, put a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying onto the battlefield, and then populate.
Populate was a fun little mechanic from the Return to Ravnica block in Selesnya, that is white and green. It was all about getting all sorts of creature tokens and then having them multiply.
Yes, Dungeon Kitty, Polyarmory is a D&D podcast. Originally, myself, Laura, and Astrid Johnson, who I believe now works for Rock Paper Shotgun. And the new season is myself DMing again, Becky Toohill, sometimes James, Nick at the Nick Flair, and Laura, reprising her role as Romara Ironthal.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Sentinel of the Eternal Watch is a 4/6 for 6 with vigilance. Nice. At the beginning of your beginning of combat on each opponent's turn, tap target creature that player controls. Nice.
Ooh, so it's just you don't get to fight.
No, I'll have none of you. Thank you very much. And I guess if tapped, also no activated abilities.
Or blocking the next turn.
Sentinel Sliver. Creature control have vigilance. Slivers. 2/2 for 2. Oh no!
Pardon me.
Self exploding. Sraff of the Sword. It's 3/3 for 4 with flying and prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to Seraph of the Sword.
Only way to
Invincible?
remove it. It's not entirely indestructible because indestructible creatures also don't take damage from spells or abilities. This is purely just combat damage that doesn't do anything to Seraph of the Sword.
Speaking of Sarah Angel. It's 4/4 for
Classic.
5. Flying vigilance.
Used to be a rare.
Really?
Yeah.
And it just became uncommon. More hot cats in your area.
Well, she was rare in like a couple sets. I don't know if she was originally rare. Yes. Here are more of those creatures from Mirrodin that get benefits from being equipped.
Sky Hunter Cup, as long as it's equipped, it gets +1/+1 and has flying. 2/2 for 3. Really good. Got a few of those. Sky Hunter Patrol, Hot Cats. Flying, first strike. 2/3 for 4. I think the first strike probably makes up for the extra mana there.
Yeah, Sarah Angel has been uncommon the majority of the time, including in alpha and beta, etc., but was made into a rare in 7th, 8th, 9th. 10th and dual decks editions,
Ooh.
but it's otherwise been uncommon.
Let's see. I misread that as Sith. Sith Ascendants is a 1/1 for 3 with flying.
Hmm.
And whenever it does combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay. I guess.
Weird.
Takes a little while to fire it up, but
Mm-hmm. Get some artifacts on there, equipment on there to pump it up and then get it attacking, and yeah.
Soulmender. I feel like that's pretty decent.
Soulmender, pretty classic.
Get yourself some help.
It's alright. Recently reprinted.
Yeah? How
Mm-hmm.
Skull...
More often than not, you're typically just going to want a better card in its slot.
Yeah. Something with first strike, something with haste. Something red. Stalwart Avon. It's a 1/3 flying for 3 with renown. Renown. Gosh, got a lot of those. Oh, another one that's got bits of stuff all over it. Staunch Defenders.
Don't ask what it was, chat.
When Staunch Defenders comes into play, you gain 4 life. It's 3/4/5. This card got played a lot, as you can tell by the fucking state of it.
I have a deck of cards that was also a mono white deck that was in my backpack for a while, and so all of the cards just have crushed in like pencil lead everywhere. Yeah. And I mean, it was all on mono white cards, so at least it kind of made them look cool.
If I sleeve them, no one will know.
Yeah.
Steel Form Sliver is a 2/2 for 3, and Slivers get +0/+1.
So it's a 2/3 for 3.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pump those slivers.
Some slivers are rather weak, and that helps with that, I guess.
What about a Steeple Rock? It's an
all in all, rather middling.
Very, very expensive.
Having 3 power, first strike, and flying is very nice, but it is just so fragile.
A glass cannon.
How
about some gatekeepers?
We don't like gatekeeping here.
No. Take that, Chasters League. Sunspire Gatekeepers is a 2/4 for 4. When Sunspire Gatekeepers enters the battlefield, if you control 2 or more gates, put a 2/2 White Knight token. No one wants to play with gate. Fuck off.
Pretty much.
Nobody likes you.
Unless you're playing in artisan format, which allows commons and uncommons, in which case gate tech from the most recent Ravnica set is actually pretty legit.
Heck. Supply line cranes. Don't you give me babies. No. That's...
These are cranes, not storks, Jane.
Same thing. It's a leggy bird that carries stuff.
You're
very much not the same thing.
But my birds,
she got you there.
My legs aren't skinny. They're only skinny up to the knee, and then they're chonk.
They're very sexy. I like them.
I'm glad you like them. Well, who knows? Once I've finished having my legs zapped, people might see more of them.
Yeah.
I am hyped for this.
Laura came with me for my my test patch for leg zapping, and she was like, "I was surprised the speed you got your leggings off." I was like, "Yeah, not having to worry about like tucking and stuff, or where a penis might be. Much more keen to just whip my clothes off in front of a stranger."
Oh, absolutely.
It's fine.
Although I
Somehow
guess I
Hawks
don't
is
really
not my
care about
thing.
that, honestly.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh yeah, Sentinel Hawk is classically quite good.
Owls
And
have long legs. They do. It's true.
that's why the Healer's Hawk, which is the same exact thing except also has lifelink, is just so much better. Mm-hmm.
I think I prefer the 14.
Oh, June's
I
jumping
really
into
like.
it. Oh, sorry. Go on.
What that kitty do?
Owls have really, really long legs. Have you seen a picture of an owl's legs?
I have. If you do the thing where you just go,
Just lift the floof.
lift the floof, and it's just like, leggy bird, how much of you is burb? I thought you were long burb, but you are actually just a floofy burb. With a scary head. Sworn Defender. It's on the reserve list. Change Sworn Defender's power and toughness to target change Sworn Defender's power and toughness of target creature being blocked or blocking or being blocked by Sworn Defender -1. This is a complicated card to read, fuck it.
I'm gonna try looking up the Oracle text for that.
It is hard to read. Syndic Titties. Tides. Extort. When you
Titties?
cast a spell. Titties. Syndic Titties. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay a Orzhov mana. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain that much.
Yeah, the Oracle text is not helping us here.
It's a shit card, and that's why they're never reprinting it.
I mean, it's a rare from an old set,
I
so.
don't care. Fuck it. I think it's one of the few cards I've got that's worth more than a couple of quid. More than a couple of pennies. I think it's actually worth about 2 quid.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. You know, I found a random rare card from.
Found a random rare card?
In my cousin's collection when I was visiting him in Portland. It's from the very first expansion. What was it? Arabian Nights or whatever. And apparently it's worth around $200.
Ooh.
Simply because it's a rare card from an old set. Like, it isn't even that good a card.
Dungeon Kitty has an owl that visits. It's called Bacon because it stole bacon.
Mm, that's adorable.
Tajnar Swordsmith is a 2/3 for 4.
Mm-hmm.
Difficult to say quickly. When it comes into playing, you may pay X if you do search a library for an equipment card with CMC of X or less and put that into play. Then shuffle your library.
That is very nice.
Appropriate for that set to get your good equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Territorial Rock. It's an owl like Angry Bird.
Mm-hmm. Considering rocks in the D&D sense, I am miffed that there is not much more, like, that should be much more powerful.
Rock and roll. Tethmos High Priest. It's heroic. Yes. Hello. It's a fairy. Whenever you cast a spell that targets the fairy, return target creature with converted mana cost to 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Resurrection, bitches!
Not bad.
Totem Guide, Hot Beast. Why do you spell this? Is it very tall, or is it just at that angle?
Good question. I think it could be the angle. Maybe. I don't know.
Get me from below, Eric. Just draw the portrait from below. I want to look really awesome. Make it look like I'm wearing the moon as a crown.
To be fair, that is a very awesome art.
Mm-hmm. When Totem Guide Heartbeast enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an aura card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library.
Doesn't seem half bad.
No. Oh, Valor. Remember
Valor!
incarnations? First strike. As long
Mm-hmm.
as Valor is in your graveyard and you control the planes, creatures you control have first strike.
That's the cycle of incarnations are actually quite nice.
Yeah.
I know everybody always talks about anger because it looks like a very angry baby.
I think I've got Filth as well, which is the black one.
Ooh. But
That's a good
yes,
card.
Valor is quite nice.
Mm-hmm. One of the better fun cards at that time. Wall of Hope.
Oh yes, I have this card. Uh, eh.
It absorbs health for you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are worse Defender 1-drops.
Pointy
Ooh.
Wall.
I have a Wall of Swords from Revised Edition.
Pointy?
It's pointy, has amazing artwork, and was in that deck that got all rubbed in with pencil lead.
Oh, I'll probably see more of those.
Mm-hmm.
Wandering Champion. Kicking ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally
Mm-hmm.
in half.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Also, option to draw card, yes please.
Also, look at that text. Tell me that isn't wholly relevant today.
Learn from your enemies, but do not tolerate them. Nazi punks, Nazi punks, Nazi punks. Get kicked in half.
Mm-hmm.
Ward Scale Dragon. It's
Hmm.
4/4 for 6. As long as it's attacking, defending players can't cast spells.
Make it impossible for there to be combat tricks. That is quite a useful effect.
Fuck you and your flash.
I mean, I'd pay 6 mana for that.
Whipgrass Entangler. It's a 1/3 for 3. Until end of turn, target creature gains. This creature can't attack or block unless its controller plays 1 colourless for each cleric in play.
Mm-hmm.
Good if you got a lot of clerics. Oh!
But do you see what I mean about all the clerics in Legion set looking like scarecrows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or just like wearing straw?
Okay, I'm going to read you a poem and you're going to tell me what the card is.
Okay.
2 little goblins out in the sun. Down
Mm-hmm.
came a griffin, and then there was one.
Mm. I don't know the exact card, but I do recall that poem from the flavor text. Dun,
It's a
dun,
2/1.
dun. I'm not going to guess this, Jane. There are literally tens of thousands of Magic cards.
It's been reprinted forever.
Uh-huh. Wild Griffin.
Ah, griffin! So I've got that version,
Mm-hmm.
which is 5th Dawn? Something like that. And that version, which is a
Mm-hmm.
star. It earned a star.
Pretty star. No,
I don't know what set
and
it's.
it's star and it's hash marks.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yoke
Uh-huh.
Dukes!
Ah, yes. I liked my oaks yoked.
I say.
This is actually one of the few Ox in the game, except for the new, what is it, Ox of Agonis from Theros Beyond Death.
Could be.
I think those are the only 2 Ox in the game right now.
It's got gold on it. Is it a return docs? Abzan Advantage. It's so 2 mana. Target player sacrifices an enchantment. Bolster 1.
Interesting. So most of the time it's just put a 1/1/1 counter on a creature that you don't get to pick.
Abzan Rune Mark. Target creature gets +2/+2. It has vigilance as long as you control a black or green dragon.
Very nice.
Aerial maneuver. +1/+1. Flying first strike until end of turn. You had me up to until end of turn. Maybe in a white-red deck?
The first strike is relevant sometimes as a combat trick. The flying typically can be if you're trying to get in for the last points in a close game. I know a few decks ran this in that set standard. I'm not sure if any that were competitive viable or anything.
Because this is still legal at the moment, isn't it? Just
Yeah,
about.
it is.
Just about. Till September.
Wait, no, it's not. No, it's
No?
not. That's Gate Crash. Unless it's been reprinted.
Ajani. Hit that big lion.
Mm-hmm.
That big sparkly lion. Strife.
Mm-hmm.
Ajani's presence costs 3 more to cast for each target beyond the first. So just chain lightning this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But with good stuff. So share the steroids, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Altar of Light. Remove
That's
target
Alter's Light,
artifact or enchantment from the game. Keep
which
going.
is a good card.
What
How
is
much
the
does that cost?
4? Return
Excuse
to
me.
Nature is cheaper? Am I thinking Return to Nature? Yeah.
So is Revoke Existence is 1 and a white for the same effect. The only thing is that it's a sorcery, whereas that's an instant. I think the sorcery speed version is better, honestly.
Armament of Nyx. That looks like a big ass pole.
Mm-hmm.
Big ass pole. Target creature has double strike. Double strike.
Very nice.
A move used quite sparingly as far as I can tell. Artful maneuver.
Very nice.
Different.
That's that rebound stuff that we talked about. Yeah. Fun storm.
Astral Steed. Hotbirds.
Steel.
Steel. Hotbirds. Target creature gets +1/+2 until end of turn. Storm.
AKA Magic's most broken mechanic.
What's wrong with a little bit of broken?
Mm-hmm. As a treat.
Now this is a badass bit of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Enchanted creature has double strike for 3.
And the badass effect.
Do you reckon it's worth it for 3? For double strike? I suppose if you put it on something really fucking huge.
Yes, I do.
Fair enough then. Brave the elements.
Mm-hmm.
Protection from what the fuck ever.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of those. Call to glory! More nice Kamigawa art.
Mm-hmm.
On top all creatures you control, samurais you control, or samurai, sorry, plural of samurai, like Lego. All creatures you control get this.
Oh, samurai control.
All samurai. So untap them
Yeah.
all whenever you like. This is why I don't reach it online. This is why I don't play dating sims.
Fair enough.
It's brave enough doing this. Celestial Fire target player sacrifices an attacking or blocking creature. Eh.
Yeah, that's where your opponent chooses is called an edict effect, and typically they're not the greatest.
No. Center Soul. Target creature you control gets protection from any color. Until end of turn. Rebound.
Jane's Dungeon Killer? I don't know because it is not something I do personally. There are a lot of different pieces of advice you can find for that. Yeah, I just recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mine was always sort of try and work out where your testicles descended from. Carefully put
Hmm.
them back into that hole. Uh,
Hmm.
Skin forward, and then penis
Hmm.
fold straight down over the top of that. And
Hmm.
then possibly two pairs. Two pairs of underwear. One of them like a size smaller than you need, so that everything stays nice and snug, and the other one just for looking nice.
Hmm.
Should you ever happen
And
to
again,
gain any
it's
limit?
something that you should delve into kind of carefully because you can fuck shit up if you don't do it properly, or if
Yeah,
you can like
twist a knacker.
you can sometimes hurt yourself. So just do it and then wait and yeah, just try to
Yeah.
wait and see if there's discomfort or any kind of nausea. Nausea is bad.
Um, and it's um, difficult in summer. You will get
Hmm.
hot in ways you don't quite understand. Because the whole point
That's
of
true.
its dangling is that it's supposed to be a couple of degrees below body temperature. So putting it
Hmm.
into body temperature makes everything down there just go, I am very, very, very hot.
Hmm. And don't feel like you have to do it.
Nope. Tape is an option
Tape.
if you get it to
Um,
fuzz everything, maybe.
you can use like medical tape safely.
Like microban.
Otherwise, it's a matter of like what your skin reacts to. Like the resins that a lot of tapes use can be irritants on your skin,
Especially in really sensitive areas.
especially. Hmm.
Um, yeah, there's like special shaped underwear. Or you can just do what a lot of people do, which is leggings with a skirt over the top. So
Hmm.
then you don't have to tuck. You just have to be careful how you
Hmm.
sit. The other thing with tucking, be real fucking careful how you sit.
Hmm.
Because if you sit down too
I think
fast
I,
and your tuck's slipped, whew,
yeah, I think I only ever tucked for like 2 or 3 months, and then I just like tuck it.
luckily I didn't have a lot to tuck, so it meant that I could fairly comfortably wear leggings for like a couple of
Mm.
years before surgery, with
Mm.
nothing over the top.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have that, but at the same time, I've never felt keen on wearing leggings with nothing else. Anyways, it just feels like I'm wearing like underwear.
And that's why I wear leggings every day. Send a soul.
That is
But
quite
yeah,
fair.
Google it. Because there will be
Mm.
diagrams, and diagrams help. Send a soul. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn and rebound.
That's very entirely helpful. Mm-hmm.
Don't recognise the set. Coalition flag. Uh,
Oh, I know that set.
enchant. Can enchant only creature you control. Enchanted creature type is flag bearer. If an opponent plays a spell or ability that would target a flag bearer in play, that player chooses at least one flag bearer as a target. Complicate rules, fuck off.
Mm-hmm. That set is Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Congregate. I mean, if you've got a lot of weenies out, Face asking, do you have a flag? If you haven't got a flag, no flag, no country, can't have one. Convalescence.
But yeah.
During your upkeep, if you have 10 or less life, gain a life.
Ooh, very nice. All right. I hope you have a very nice nap, Jane's Dungeon Kitty. And if you have any more questions, absolutely feel free to DM me on Discord or, just ask a question in the Discord chat and I will happily answer it.
Okay.
I wish you the very best.
Mm-hmm. Sleep well, sweet dreams, don't let the biscuits eat you. Crown of
Mm-hmm.
Awe! An enchanted creature has protection from black
Aww.
and from red. Sacrifice Crown of Ore, enchanted creature, and other creatures that share a creature type with it gains protection from black and red until end of turn. Honor, guide my step. They look so grumpy. They look so grumpy.
I love it. It's perfect.
It's the most northern character in Magic the Gathering.
Oh, yeah, I'll get a link to the Discord in chat right now.
Ooh, yes, thank you.
Let's see.
There is Discord. We've also got an
Or
unofficial
someone else can do that because I don't have Discord updated on this computer.
Becky, or
1
Maine,
second.
or whoever. Decide. Or Deicide? I'm guessing it's Deicide.
Deicide.
What am I deciding on?
Whether or not to kill God.
Which gods to kill?
You can DM me or apparently Kel.
1 second.
Yeah. My name on the Discord is Kelladry.
I'm June actually. Yeah. Deicide, exile target enchantment if the exiled card is a god. Search its controller's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. Fuck you and your gods. God is great. Oh,
And this is why Heliod betrayed Elspeth, because she did what he asked her to do.
The audacity on it.
No, Discord. I'm not using it at Audacity today.
Oh,
Damn.
sorry.
Diversionary Tic Tacs. Untap.
Tic Tacs?
Yeah. Untap tap 2 untapped creatures you control. Tap target creature. Tic Tac. Well, a Tic Tac, a Tic.
Could be worse. Yes, Basin, that is how you deal with the Egyptian god cards.
Enduring Victory. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature, bolster 1. It's expensive. I feel like if this was black, there would be much more and cheaper ways to do that. Maybe that's just me. Enshrouding Mist. It's the guy from Game of Thrones and some random ponce. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to it this turn. If it's renowned, untap it.
Interesting. Not good, but interesting.
Feet of Resistance.
I would have it if you don't want it.
+1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains protection from the colour of your choice until end of turn. We keep seeing this as white. Hermity little bastards. Flicker!
Oh,
Flicker
classic.
where?
That flicker. Remove target non-target permanent from the grave, then return its player under its owner's hands. Fuck you, only pacifism.
That's where the name for that effect comes from.
What's the more recent one? Flicker of Fate? Font of
That is it.
Sacrifice font figure for 7 life. So 5 for 7 life. That's not bad.
I mean, you just want it because it's an enchantment in the Theros block.
What can I say? Brimful of Asher on my 45. Choose one. Creatures you control get +1, +2/+0 until end of turn, or +0/+2. Fancy.
Useful for all occasions.
In case of emergency, 45. We're back in Kamigawa. It's spooky.
Oh, yes. Yeah, this is part of the prison archetype I mentioned earlier.
Creatures can't attack unless their controller pays 2 for each creature attacking you. Fancy. Ooh,
Mhm.
I know this from recent. I don't know which recent. Is this 20? Core 20?
Mhm.
Yeah, Glaring Aegis. Enchanted creature. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. It gets +1/+3. I've got this in my Celestia deck.
It could be War of the Spark, but it's probably M20. I think it's M20.
It is M20. I found it in my deck. Alright. Which means I've got a ton of those just from a different set. Grasp
Mhm.
of the Hieromancer. Target creature gets +1/+1 and has, whenever this creature attacks, tap target creature depending on player controls. Not bad for 2.
Yeah.
I like it.
Mhm.
What does the teacher say? Teacher says, creature you control get +2/+1 until end of turn and rebound.
Mhm. Good. Very good for all your prowess triggers.
Pew, pew. Double tap.
Mhm.
Nice. Some more classic star art, but loving whatever this hammerhead thing.
That goblin
Mm-hmm.
definitely does not look like the shaft of something.
Oh god. Each creature you control may block one additional creature. I have the high ground. Hive Sterlings. Do you suffer with hive stones? There's a
I
cage
do.
for that.
Ooh. Tell me
uh,
more.
the CB9000. Put 2 colourless sliver creatures onto the battlefield. For 3. 2/1/1s for 3.
Well, 2/1/1s with all of the sliver abilities that you presumably have on the board thus far.
Mm-hmm. There's something very mysterious about this artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the lighting on that, it is just mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
Holy strength, Batman.
Mm-hmm. A classic.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's also Unholy Strength, which is +2/+1, I think.
Cool. Oh. So we've got
Mm-hmm.
some 8th. Also got some 7th.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first one I've seen with a 7. I don't
Gotta
know
love
what...
that. Gotta love that pre-2006, 2007 card art.
Mm-hmm. That is a very severe looking person, whoever they are.
Mm-hmm.
Honours reward, you get dubbed with a fancy branch.
Mm-hmm.
Game 4 life, bolster 2. For 3.
Looks very druid.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to flick you with this olive branch.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's them cogs again.
Ooh.
Humble. Ooh. Ooh. I don't have balls anymore, but there is something about the idea of a humbler that just makes me wince slightly. What if someone tickled you at the wrong time you stood up and ripped
Oh
your nuts
God,
off?
no, no, no,
Is it just me that thinks about that?
no, no, no. I'm doing my best not to.
uh, the humbler. Target creature loses all its abilities and becomes 0/1. It's ichthyomorphosis.
Except it's until end of turn
Is
for
ichthyomorphosis a one
roughly
one
the
in
same.
blue or is it 2 in blue?
It's 2 in blue.
I feel like the pay the extra 1 mana. Don't be cheap about it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm steaming up.
Mm.
All these magic words
Ew.
have got me real hard.
I'm
Thinking about that humbler.
steaming.
Steamy windows. A Knidget watch.
Mm-hmm.
Put 2 White Knights enter battlefield with vigilance for 5.
Not quite worth it at 5, honestly.
No, I feel like, although it is 1 card,
is, it is. And Selesnya did have the way to duplicate creature tokens in that block, but yeah.
Proliferate.
Well, no, the mechanic's called populate.
But they're becoming more proliferous.
Mm-hmm.
Kythion's Tactic.
Kithion.
Kythion.
Mm-hmm.
Dave's Tactic. A creature you control get +2/+1 till end of turn. Spell Mastery. If there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, those creatures also gain vigilance until end of turn.
You could also just call it Gideon's Tactics.
I could.
Mm-hmm.
Gideon's Tic Tacs.
Mm-hmm.
Check. Lysav Decree.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a bunch of these in my other white deck. I like them.
Yeah. They're good. Detain was a good mechanic.
They-
Good mechanic.
Just good mechanic as a treat. There's something about like the billowiness here that kind of reminds me of the Hitchhiker's movie, that version of Marvin.
Oh, yeah. I watched that movie without knowing what movie it was when I was like 7. Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry for you. Martial law.
So sometimes I'll just hear a mouse say, "Take the brain," like in the back of my head.
It has to be treated, prepared. Taste. At the beginning of your upkeep, detain target creature and opponent controls.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad for 4.
No, not bad at all. Especially because it just does it every single turn.
Mm-hmm. And you can just go, oh, actually, I was having some trouble with that before, but apparently you brought in something worse. And now that can fuck off too. Mighty Leap. 2/2. And gains flying until the end of turn. Leap. And fuck you. Also, what is that card? An elephant? Yes.
Which card?
This armored elephant.
Oh. Yeah, that's an elephant.
Dungeon Kit has joined the Discord.
Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, head over to the About section and tell us all about yourself. However you want to be on this day. You can update and change if people do that.
Yes, indeed.
Mortal Obstinacy. Oh, I did pick the right way.
Obstinacy.
Yeah.
I finally discovered my school of magic.
Are you going to be an obstimancer?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that just northern?
I thought that was just bratty.
Ooh, yeah.
I side with Kel on this one.
I mean, porque no los dos.
Pork what?
No.
Why not both?
We're doing a bit of a Spanish.
One of them gets my ass handed to me.
Enchanted creature you control. Yes, +1/+1. Whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it. Mortal Obstinacy. If you do, destroy target chop. Between this and Ichthyomorphosis, I feel like they're just like cards that are going to take a while to learn to pronounce correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, Watsy.
Magic has some doozies.
There's been a murder.
Mm-hmm.
Murder?
And a small Scottish town.
There's actually this is a reprint of another card from Gate Crash. I believe it had a counterpart called Grizzly Spectacle.
Oh, heck. So, for all the rubberneckers in the background here, just... What's going on over there? Enchant creature you control. When enchanted creature dies, put X white, 1/1 white creature soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield where X is its power. Big thing, die. Ooh, it's a previous version of that.
Mm.
Can't we just get along? You make a good point. Very well.
Can't we settle this over a pint?
I will neither attack nor block next turn. Fine. Path of Bravery.
Yes.
As long as your life total is greater than or equal to your starting life total, creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever one or more creatures you control attack, you gain life equal to the number of attacking creatures. So lots of things,
It's
and let's just chuck them out every time.
It's just an actual payoff for having this amount of life. Good night, Basin.
Night, Basin. Thanks for coming. When the problem comes along, you must pay it no heed. / ignore. What is that?
I don't know, but they're quoting Shakespeare under it.
What Cronenberg-esque body horror bullshit is this?
Something that we pay no heed to, obviously.
No, but I want to heed it. Oh, God.
If you want to heed it, you can do that on your own time.
It's like David Cronenberg fingered H.R. Geiger.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Hey, I'm not gonna complain if that's what they want to do. But I will be paying it no heed, I assure you. Penance! Choose a card from your hand, put that card on top of your library. Prevent all damage from black or red source this turn.
It's not this turn. It's
oh shit! Yeah.
Putting a card from your hand on top of your library is the cost of activating that ability.
But it'll only work for this turn, right?
Well,
it'll sit there forever.
Yeah, it's an enchantment, and then whenever you want to, you can pay that cost to ignore a damage from a black or red source.
Okay. Poke it. It's a nerve pinch. Pressure point. Tap target creature. Draw a card.
Not bad for a cantrip.
By studying dragon anatomy, Jeskai monks have learned how to locate clusters of nerves that will incapacitate even the mightiest dragons.
Indeed.
Quiet puberty.
I wish.
Right? Instant arcane. Destroy target enchantment.
Yeah, that nice little Kamigawa stuff there, yeah.
It's a long neck verb in a robe. Robe. Raise the alarm.
Oh, that was just reprinted back in Core Set 2020.
2/1/1.
Good card.
Flip 2. I mean, it justifies not having 1-drops if you've got a couple of those. I could put 2 1-drops in, or I could just wait and put some Raise the Alarms in and fuck shit up on round 2.
Got those options.
Recuperate.
Indeed.
Gain 6 life, or prevent the next 6 damage that will be dealt to target creature this turn.
Yeah. That was once like a big deal, just preventing damage, but then the people who made Magic are just like, oh right, if nothing's doing damage, then the game's boring.
What if we renounce the guilds? Because fuck guilds, right?
You know what? I can get behind you on this. I will renounce the guilds too.
Yay! Not only renouncing the guilds, but I've also got someone behind me. Spoon in! Resupply. I don't know what this big creature friend is, but they're quite adorable.
You're adorable.
Looks to be some sort of Oliphant.
But with a sort of more horsey face. And cloven hooves. So it's like a elephant camel. Resupply. Gain 6 life, draw a card.
Sure. I mean, that'll definitely top you up. But I don't know how much that'll do.
Kamigawa. Reverse the sands. Distribute any number of players' titles. Players' life titles.
Okay. That's not terrible, I guess. Except for 8 mana. Yeah, that is pretty terrible.
Yeah. Just because
That's a
it's
fun
rare
card effect.
doesn't mean it's good.
No.
Reward the faithful. Too late. We renounced. I just... There's a story going on with this card. Stare into the stare into the lights, you can see shit. Just stare into the light. Yeah, but what if we didn't? Any number of players. Each gains life equal to the highest CMC among opponents you control.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a real good way of getting back in the game if shit's going down.
Indeed.
You have a scenic ramp, and you're about to hit me with the 25-25. Well, allow me to...
It's a converted mana cost among permanents you control.
But you could have something powerful that you've been getting around. But in a
True.
white deck, maybe not.
Well, yeah, this is a way to pay off the very high converted mana cost things that you just morph into play for the cheap.
Ooh, maybe you white blue deck with that thing that was just ridiculously overpriced.
Mm-hmm.
Gain life for each creature your opponent controls. Present all damage that we dealt to this turn.
Fog effects, never that great. This one giving you some life on top of it can actually stabilize you sometimes.
Roar the car. Yeah!
Come
Creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn. Untap all creatures you control. Entwine. Do both. Why not both?
Mm-hmm.
You sanctimonious bastards. Whenever an opponent taps a mountain, you may gain a life. Take that, mono red.
Mm-hmm.
Sandblast.
Mm-hmm.
5 damage for 3. To target attacking or blocking creature. At instant speed. Thank you very much. Show of Valor. Stop burning my child. Target creature gets +2/+4 until end of turn. That seems like a lot for 2 mana.
It is, but it's all in the toughness, which won't really do too much, but occasionally you can do it to trade up.
Cowards watch, shadows act.
Indeed.
Solidarity. You control. Assaulted until the end of turn. For just 4 mana. For just 4 mana, you can protect all of your shit.
Uh-huh.
Soul summons. Manifest protect part of your library. It's a swirly blue. A swirly blue.
Indeed.
What if blue, but also swirly?
Mm-hmm.
Viagra? So tap target creature. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Scry 2, not bad for 1.
Not bad at all. The Scry 2 is actually very nice at that mana cost. Especially at instant speed.
Still, I'd have thought that would have been a little blue card.
Probably. I mean, there are blue cards that are like it.
Terashi's Cry. I don't know what it is, but it looked cool as fuck.
I mean, I imagine that's Tarashi.
Pointy Mother Brain.
Mm-hmm.
Tap up to 3 target creatures for 4.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear a cutie. A wild cutie has appeared.
Oh,
Oh well.
how go the cards?
Tell her she's pretty.
We are 2. You're pretty. We are 2
We're
cards
almost
away
done.
from the end.
Oh, heck.
That was Becky who said to say that,
Becky
not me.
said to say that you were pretty, not Kel. And Kel would like you to be assured that that wasn't Kel.
I mean,
Jane
simply
and
because
Becky
it's
are
creepy coming
pretty.
from
I
me.
don't know what Cal looks like, but I'm sure you're lovely.
She's
Hello.
pretty.
She's pretty.
Heck. Okay. I'm awake. This is what I came to inform you of.
Love you.
I love you too.
No.
Wow.
Tell her to look at
and
her phone.
Becky.
I will look at your phones, apparently.
Okay, I will in a second.
Wake the reflections. Populate. Put a token on the battlefield. That's a copy of a creature token that you control.
Mm-hmm.
Get better tokens. And for the final white card, meaning we're moving on to black next round.
Yeah.
We've finally done 4 of these.
Mm-hmm.
Kleenex.
Sure.
Remove target enchantment from the game, or cycle the card.
Well, we've only just fucking done it.
Laminate
Got
those
another-
pages so they're white clean.
Mm-hmm. Wanna just spend another couple hours just to do the black ones right now?
Can't. I've got work tomorrow, and Laura's going to need the internet for a really good podcast. A really good D&D podcast.
I do need the internet soon, yes.
You do?
You need
I am quite excited for next episode of Dice Funk, and this has been fun.
Well, thank you for coming along again. And thank you to Becky for joining us.
Thank you to both of you for having me. To you as well.
Thank you for tolerating my horrible internet drops, as I am literally up 400 miles north of anywhere.
I was impressed that you got any signal at all. I very much appreciate you taking the time out of all that good warm snuggling to come chat magic with me.
Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Yeah. We're into black next week, if you're about.
Mm-hmm.
There is no
I
stream on
certainly
Thursday.
will be.
There is no stream on Thursday, everybody, because I will be travelling northward. Northward to go see that other cutie on this call. Nope, she's gone.
I hope you two
I'm
have a
just
wonderful
doing a
time.
tiny show.
Oh, she was doing a tiny squeak. Clap, clap, clap.
I love you so much, and I get to see you soon.
You do?
I'm going
it's
to
gonna
put
be so much
kisses
fingering.
on
And
your
kissing.
face.
And sitting on your
I
face.
feel like I should leave this call now, so I can leave you two to it.
Cal, do you want to plug anything?
Yes, but I'll talk about some other stuff I do. Hi, I'm Kelladry. You can find me at twitch.tv/KelladryJane. I swear I'll stream again one of these days. I promise. I typically do nerdy-ass Magic the Gathering shit, which is why I'm here. Yeah, so I will hope to replace my fucking microphone cord again after my horrible beast of a cat has destroyed it. And yeah, I will announce any streams on the Discord for Stoned Monkey Radio as they come up. Otherwise, I have no Twitter and am essentially invisible to the internet. I am there, but I am lurking. Jane, where can we find you on the internet?
I'm Maniac Janiac on Twitter and YouTube. I'm also other places. SoundCloud. Basically, other places you can look for either Janiac, Janeaiac, or Stoned Monkey Radio. Because I can never remember which one's which. We've got a Facebook group, which is facebook.com/Stoned Monkey Radio. We also have Hello, Good Evening and Welcome, the unofficial Stoned Monkey Radio Facebook fan page. For people who don't want to just look at a page, they can actually just interact and stuff. And share memes, and I can share ridiculous made-up Magic the Gathering cards that caused someone on Twitter today to go, "Are you designing the new unset?" I wish. If Magic want to play me for punning Magic cards all day, let's see. Contact me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Important thing: PayPal.me/ShaneMagnet or patreon.com/StonedMonkeyRadio. Those are the ones that pay the bill. I put out my review for Graveyard Keeper, which I had been sitting on for about 2 months because I was finding the game so annoying to play. That will give you some idea about how I scored it. Becky can be found as @Becky2Hill on Twitter and nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
.wordpress.com.
Yeah.
I didn't say the name of it. I just said nowhere else.
Secretshame.wordpress.com.
Secret. Highly embarrassed.wordpress.com. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again sometime, hopefully. And if I can get the thing to go away, I can do that. Thank you very much for joining us. See you again sometime. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.